So I've been thinking, what video haven't I done on a plant that I currently sell? And it's kind of hard to figure that out because I've done a lot of videos and I feel like I've done a video on every single one of them. But as I was looking through it, it turns out I haven't done a video on Rotala. Now Rotala is a highly versatile, probably the most versatile plant in the aquatic plant kind of industry. And I think today we're going to talk about it. So let's get into it. But before we get into it, I'm Justin from h2oplants.com. And of course, if you want to pick up some Rotala, head on over to our website, h2oplants.com, and you can pick yourself up some. But let's talk about Rotala. And right here, I actually have Rotala indica. This is a very common species of Rotala that a lot of places sell. It is probably the easiest version other than just the regular green version, which is just called SP green or Rotala green. And even though this is green, Rotala indica will get a kind of yellowy pinkish tone to it once it converts fully underwater. This is above water growth currently, but as it grows, the leaves get smaller and smaller opposed to the bigger leaves down here at the bottom. And then they start to kind of elongate and become more ovalized, if that's a word, ovalized, and they grow a beautiful yellowy pink color. Now, this is just one Rotala. Over the last couple of years of me being in the aquarium plant hobby and industry, I've probably seen at least 20 different types of Rotala that we have access here in the United States. There are tons more available overseas and also kind of, I would say, not like the black market of plants, but the very low-key, kind of subtle plant market that is behind everything, like extreme hobbyists, like the really expensive plants. There's just a ton more Rotalas. And you can find everything from green to yellow to pink to purple to orange to red. And these plants there's such a huge variety. There's also different leaf shapes and sizes. Another plant that we sometimes have in is Rotala macandra, and that's actually red. That plant gets dark, almost like purpley red. However, the leaves are a lot bigger than typical Rotala indica. Rotala indica has very small, narrow leaves, which makes them ideal for smaller aquariums, where Rotala macandra, much larger leaves. I unfortunately don't have any with me today. Rotala macandra, very easy plant, same thing with Rotala indica, however, much different leaf shape. Another one that we could talk about is Rotala wallichii. Rotala wallichii is kind of what I like to refer to as a needle leaf or a feather stem plant. And the reason being is every single leaf is literally like a strand of hair. Sometimes they're pointy, sometimes they kind of stick straight up. They're very different from most other plants. They almost look like think of like a pine branch to a pine tree. It has all this like thistles or pine needles, and that's kind of what the Rotala wallichii looks like. And there's different types of Rotala wallichii. There's other types of Rotala that have that same leaf structure. Now Rotala wallichii has a beautiful pink purple color to it. It's like hands down a very beautiful plant, very versatile as well. But it is a little harder to grow. And just keep in mind, when you look into Rotalas, the more kind of rare they are, is the more harder to grow because they either need more intense light, they need CO2, whereas Rotala indica, Rotala macandra don't really need CO2, they just need a decent amount of light. Rotala indica could get away with low to medium light, Rotala macandra medium to high light. So you have your different variations of Rotala. And it really comes down to what you're looking for. But if you're looking for something that's easy to grow, Rotala indica is hands down just the easiest species that I've ever come across. And what's really good about it is it's very versatile. Like I said in the beginning, the reason why it's versatile is because you could either stick it in your plant, in your tank, right, and just have it as stems, and then you just continuously trim it. The more you trim it, the more bushier it gets, and it just forms this really thick bush of plants. You could also tie it to driftwood. So if you ever wanted to make like a one of those, like, I don't know, like the bonsai trees, that's what they call it, the bonsai trees. And you were looking at plants and you're not sure which one to do, you could actually tie Rotala into that and just continuously trim it. Because Rotala branches off from every single leaf node pretty much very, very easily. Like, it is extremely easy. You just have to chop the top part off and all of a sudden you'll see a bunch of side shoots pop out. So it's excellent for bonsai trees because of that. It allows you to just grow a very fast growing plant, because a lot of people use like Anubis nanapetit or Busa philandrid or sometimes Monte Carlo or mosses, and those all grow relatively slow. Monte Carlo is somewhat fast, but not nearly as fast as Rotala is. Like, this thing is a weed. If you stick this in your aquarium, within no time it's just going to grow like just tremendously. It's one of the fastest growing stem plants, so you're going to have to trim it a lot. And that could be a very good thing depending on what you're doing with it. But I find that Rotala because, like, hands down, the weediest stem plant, the most versatile stem plant because of what you could do with it. And, you know, it's just overall a really beautiful plant also once it gets its yellows and pinks. And keep in mind, it could still be green under low light. It'll be more of a greenish tinge. If you have it under medium light, more of a yellowy. And then under highlight, it'll get that pinkish reddish color. So 3 different aquariums in your house could have 3 different lights, and this plant will look 3 different ways, essentially. So it's really cool in that aspect. But that's really it. Rotala is a very easy, simple plant to grow. For the most part, like I said, you get into the harder stuff, you may require a bit more, but I think Rotala is a great, fantastic, easy plant for the beginner to grow, and I think everybody should give it a shot if you haven't already. With that said, if you have used Rotala in your tanks, or have it, or are thinking about getting it, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think so other people can also see other people's opinions about the plant. And as always, if this video helped you in any way, hit that like button. If you enjoyed the video and you want to check out more, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you want to check out any of our recent videos, you can click either one of those. I will see you guys next time.